highlighting and contouring tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoy it, so let's just jump right in. So for today's contouring, I'm going to be using this little handy contouring kit by Revolution. This is sort of similar to MUA makeup from Superdrug. It's one of the most affordable brands, but it's still very good quality. So today I'm going to be using the bronzing shade, which is this one, and it's like a cool toned brown. For contouring your face, I recommend using brown shades like this that are matte and haven't got any shimmer to it, but are also cool toned, because if you use a warm toned one, sometimes it can make your face look a bit too orange, and I don't like that, so I go for a cool toned brown like this. The brush I'm going to be using to apply this product is this little dome fluffy brush, and this is by Makeup For You. I like this brush specifically for contouring because it fits perfectly into any sort of like part of your face. It fits really well into the cheekbone and even into the nose, so it's multi-purpose. So I'm just loading that onto the brush quite heavily to begin with, and we're going to map out where we want to contour. So the places you usually want to contour is your cheekbone, and it goes up from your ear to the corner of your mouth. Now you can suck in your cheeks to see the natural contour of your cheekbone. As you can see, mine is just there, but you can also use a brush to sort of roll it around on your face, and you can feel it with the brush. So I'm just gonna drag that in quite heavily, but don't worry, we're going to blend this out afterwards. And I like to go a little bit higher than my actual cheekbone, because once you blend it out, it actually shifts the cheekbone down a little bit. So I like to blend up rather than down. You also want to contour your temples just on each side, and that will make your forehead look much smaller. I'm also going to take it down my jawline just to accentuate the angle a little bit. And I'm dragging it downwards like this. Next, I'm opting for a smaller brush, and I'm using one like this, which is just a fluffy eyeshadow brush. So I'm just taking that same product and I'm applying that to the tip of my nose, just underneath, and that's going to lift the nose a little bit and make it look a little bit more pointy. And then I'm contouring down the side of my nose to make it appear slimmer. The nose contour is probably the trickiest part, so I would recommend to take your time with this. Every nose shape is different, so figure out how you like to contour your nose. Personally, I like to go a little bit wider at the sides because my nose is kind of thin here anyway, so I like to make it just a little bit thicker, and then I like to go thin into the tip of my nose. Then I also take some of the product that's left on my brush, and I just sweep that onto the sides of my nostrils, just to again give the illusion of a smaller and slender nose. Sometimes I even go into the sort of eye socket area and I contour that bit as well, and this will again make the illusion of a slender nose. And then just to finish off the contouring, I'm going to pop a tiny bit of that same shadow just beneath my lip, and that's just going to give the lip a little bit more of a pouty look. So now that you're finished with the contouring, you can move on to the highlighting, and the highlighting is what's going to tie the whole look together. For this, I tend to use a foundation, but you can use a cream concealer or powder, whichever you like. So I'm just going to use the MaxFactor Ageless Elixir foundation because that happens to be the lightest foundation that I have at the moment. So I'm just going to pop that on the back of my hand, just like that. And then we're going to be popping that on with a brush, and the one I'm using is also by Makeup For You, and it's a foundation brush. So we're going to place this underneath the eyes in like a triangular motion, just to highlight the cheekbone but also conceal any darkness that you may have underneath your eye. Now I know you guys may be thinking that this is sort of toned down and it's not really like the typical Kim Kardashian contouring routine, but I feel like for me that's just too much makeup and I would feel uncomfortable placing that amount of makeup on my face. So I'm just doing a little bit more of a toned down, wearable, everyday sort of version of that. Yeah, I just highlighted the top of my forehead, just a tiny bit of product, doesn't need to be a lot. And then I'm also going down my nose and highlighting the tip of it. And then I'm going to highlight the jawline. Just to make it pop out a little bit more. And also just a little bit on the chin. So now the fun part, blending all of this artwork out, and I'm going to be using 2 brushes actually for this, just because I don't want to mix the brown and the light shades together, because it would just look like you've covered your face with mud. So I'm going to be using 2 brushes just to stop that from happening. I'm going to be using the same brush that I did to apply the bronzer in the first place, and of course I'm going to be using that to actually blend out the bronzer as well. Now the key for this to look normal and not like you've literally rolled in mud is obviously to blend out as much as you can and to the best of your ability. The more you blend out, the more natural it's going to look, but at the same time you don't want to blend out too much so that all you're left with is a lot of product on your face that actually doesn't do anything. So definitely keep in mind that you want this to look natural, but not to get rid of the product and the mapping that you've placed out on your face. I'm just going to quickly go into the highlight and try to blend that out a little bit. So now that I feel like everything's blended out pretty well, I'm going to go in with powder. This step is optional, you don't have to do this, but my face tends to be quite oily and this foundation that I applied does look a little bit shiny, too much for my liking. So I'm just going to go ahead and powder my face a little bit with the MUA face powder. This is the lightest shade, so again it's not going to get rid of any of the highlight that we've placed, it's just going to make it a little bit more matte and accentuate the highlight. The reason why I also like to powder my face after doing this sort of highlighting and contouring makeup is because you are placing much more product on your face than you usually would, so you don't want any of the product to slip and slide throughout the day, and you want it to stay put, especially because of all the different shades that you've placed on your face. In the precise places that you don't want it to like move down your face or anything like that. Now for the last step, again it's optional, but I am personally a highlighter girl, so I'm going to be highlighting the highest points of my face, which is obviously the cheekbone and the nose. So for this I'm going to be using this highlighter by Dior. It's one of my favourite highlighters of all time, and I'm going to be using this random no-name brush, which is like a little fluffy angled brush. And I'm also going to take that down my nose. And that is my finished highlighting and contouring routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, like I said, it's a little bit toned down than most of the highlighting and contouring tutorials you may see on YouTube. So this is a little bit more of a toned down routine that you can wear for every day. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Today I'm going to be sharing with you my hair care routine, and that's everything from shampooing to hair dyeing. As you guys may know, this isn't my natural hair colour, so I do dye it a lot, and you guys always seem to ask what hair dyes I use and stuff like that.